Danny, how's it going?
Hello, Melissa. Set my mic.
Hey guys, morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Going good. Hey Danny, thank you for joining.
Oh, no problem.
I am still reaching out. I know Alex said he would like to reschedule this to like 3:30 today, but everybody else has accepted. So let me ask around. Mm. Hey Nimesh.
Hey,
Okay, I'm gonna go ping Brian and Abby. Um, Sure. Another question is Alex proposed if we could do that at 3:30. Will that work? I mean,
the red line stuff
um,
and what we have planned for today right now. Let me see. 3:30. Actually, 3:30 will.
yeah, because others are also okay. Yeah, let's keep it this way. I'm gonna go ask. Bring Ryan. Uh, Ryan said he's joining shortly. Do you want to start sharing your screen? Do you want to show the red line?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. Let me get this up. Okay, make sure the review mode. Oh, I see the red lines here. Okay.
Okay.
Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
I think we will need I'll be.
Yeah, I pinged them I think all three of them. Ryan's just coming. I think they're in another meeting.
Okay, great. Why is this not showing the red lights from you guys?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
All good.
We were just starting to see the comments and red lines, and we can like resolve this. In the meantime, let's see if Abhi or Alex can join. Alex proposed later in the day, but majority are not available.
So,
I would say, I mean, if Abhi doesn't join, I mean, so maybe so I can understand what the premise of this meeting is. I know it says threat intelligence, but do we just want to review
actually, no, the threat intel stuff we covered yesterday, Ryan, so we're good on that. The reason today was to finalize these red lines.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of bring up, why this needs to be talked about, because we can't accept some of them, and I think that pretty acceptable. If I explain to you exactly why we have certain wording the way we have it, so that's my goal. Maybe I could go over it with you, right? So
yeah. Let's I think if we go over some, because I mean, if it's ones that maybe I put in, we can go over it. It might be ones that Danny put in, but obviously if it's something that Alex or Ali put in, right? I mean, they'll need to chime in.
Of course, yeah. So one of the ones here, like let's start from the top. Like we have these definitions in the document. The reason for those definitions to exist is when we refer back to, of course, when we say an incident in the rest of the document, we mean what is defined here, right? So our definition of an incident, let me pull up our regular standard template, right? Let me move this guy a bit. And so our definition of an incident is this right here, okay? It means an alert that has been deemed necessary to be investigated based on the... So that means like when we have those detections that we do for you, that's defined in a use case definition, say, impossible travel or whatever, right? That is we create an incident out of that alert, right? Based on what we go over with you guys during onboarding. That is what we call an incident in our system, right? It's very important. Like this is a definition for our system, right? Because in the rest of the document, when we refer back to an incident, that's what we mean. That hey, it's an incident in our case management, right? But the red line here has come back saying, hey, it means any confirmed or imminent unauthorized action that breaks Grail security rules or puts the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of our systems or data at risk. I get that makes sense as Grail's definition of an incident, but this definition exists to refer back to what we deem as incident in our case management, right? Like this could mean like you using like power at your data center, that could mean an incident, but we don't track that, right? So we define things per our scope, right? So this is something that won't work for us, and we'd like to go back to our definition of that, right? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I think, Danny, you were the one who modified the definition of incident resolution, so I'll let you chime in.
Yeah, I was looking right now here. It has gone through a couple iteration. I modify it, Edward modify it, in the language there. That's the thing, and Edward's not here, right? So this could have been modified later by Edward. So it was a combination.
The last one I have is from Edward.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many changes, and ultimately Edward makes the final approval.
Yeah.
So even I make some suggestion, we go back to him. He might change it again. So actually, we actually need his final comment. So let's say we make some change here, right? And we go back. We will have that internal discussion, and we'll go back and forth again. That's what I think will happen.
So, I mean, the reason, I mean, that's good, and you guys can maybe explain to Edward, right? So, for us, incident means an alert that has been deemed necessary to be investigated based on alert criteria defined in the use case. So that means an alert goes into an incident if there is a definition built around it, right? Which we will do, which we do with you guys. We have some of the out of the box ones that's already defined, and
Right.
we can, of course, there's also customization of of course, the severity that we apply to it, the resolutions, remediation actions, response actions, all of that can be customized in this use case definition document, which we work with you guys. Ryan has seen part of it, and we'll continue to do that during onboarding, right? But for us, for our system, it needs to remain as this. And I understand, like, I think within your guys' organization, you could use this in your incident definition, right?
Right.
But it will have to go back to what we have. So I'll re-redline it. I mean, I'll put it back to what it was. And the same thing goes for resolution. Our resolution, meaning this literally means we move the ticket to resolve status in our case management, right? After we have completed the designated response action specified in the RPAM, which we have gone through with Ryan so far. So there will be certain actions like, hey, it's a certain type of incident. Let's say, again, impossible travel from an Okta, right? We will take certain actions based on certain, we can also customize it to based on certain groups of people like VIPs, right? We can have different types of actions we take, right? So we could either do that, and then the incident has been, once we do that, we take whatever actions we can take as governed by the RPAM. Then the incident, if there's other things that need to happen or needs follow-ups that we can't do, then that's on you guys to then do those, right? If you need to go, follow up with the user and find out, do additional investigation or talk to them, or anything for, let's say if it's an endpoint protection and there is a malware and we quarantine the device, we can't do the wiping of the device or remaging, right? So that's another good example for this one, right? So that's the other step that we will do this, that we do our actions, we transfer anything else to you guys, and then the incident is deemed by us not to no longer constitute a material security threat, right? Once those meet is when we will move anything into resolved in our system, right? Now, what you guys have came back with that for that one is that the threat, an incident is resolved when the threat has been contained, its root cause eradicated, and affected systems or data restored to normal, and verified operation, right? So from an MDR standpoint, like all of this is not under our purview. Maybe the root cause investigation is, but not the eradication of it. Like if there is some systems that needs to be wiped, or some network policy that needs to change, or you need to do a data restore from a backup, that is not under our purview, right? So, but in our system, we would want to know market resolved as to what our job is, right? And then all required evidence and documentation are captured. That part we will do. If you want me to keep this, that we can do. I can add that in, but these two, I can add this as a fourth point here to R1. And then Grail agrees the incident can be closed or moved to post-incident review. Now, the problem with this last one is that every time we have a ticket, we'll have to wait for your approval to move it to resolve, right? That will put all of the tickets back to you for review, right? That adds an additional burden, and then there'll be also a huge increase in like waiting for admins or waiting for customer. It's a type of status we have when we put an incident into when we're waiting for something from you guys, and we track those metrics too, right? But the idea here is if you were to do this, that means every incident you'll have, including, right, doesn't matter L1 through L5, right? They will all require you to say it's good to resolve, right? And that I don't think is feasible. The whole idea of us doing it is that, when we can resolve it, when we can take the right actions and resolve it, we will. And if there are other things that you guys need to do, then, we mark it off to you, right? And then you guys need to track it in your ticketing system to maybe do a data restore or, do a cleanup. That's the idea there. Does that make sense?
Yes. Nimesh, so here's my thoughts, and I welcome the exec to jump in. I agree that effective system of data restored to normal verified operation, that seems out of scope for you guys.
Yeah.
And the second thing is the second comment is move to post instant review. Totally agree. I think that's not going to scale. Maybe we
Yeah.
put step 1 or step 2.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That will that probably it's more valuable. And as Abby mentioned in the meeting yesterday, he cares about 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
So at the minimum, we need to have 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's my weight. That's my kind of
So
my.
that part is actually, there's another part in this red lines that talks about that, and we can cover that, the full review and report of the threat intel and the contextual information about L1 or L2. That is covered in another red line, and we can keep it there. For our systems resolution or resolve status, that is what is defined by this here, right? What we have here. So and that part what Abhi talked about yesterday, we can cover that from the other part that's in the next couple of pages. And if we can go take this back to ours, I could probably put number two here back into this as a 4 point, and bring it back to you if that's doable.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that it's just my thought.
Great. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, and yeah, we'll cover that part about like covering, deeper analysis and then providing a report on L1, L2. Right.
Yeah. Do you have a sample template of the report that we can look at? Why I'm saying it is that it will help Edward also to sort of, make it a little bit more practical in terms of negotiation on his side. It will address Danny's point of view to him when he sees the report, saying, look, this is what we are really trying to drive, and this will give us some leverage.
Are you saying just a regular incident report?
Yeah, just a template.
So it's all on our dashboard, right? I believe, Danny, you have access to our dashboard, Danny?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Maybe what I could do is I could send you some like fully investigated incidents on there, not because there's a lot of low level ones, right, that are very simple. So maybe I can give you a very rich one that you can use as I'll have the team send you a couple examples so you can just have the direct links to those incidents.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Great. Moving on, everything else on this side is good. Now here, this is where the other one that you guys talked about, step 1, step 2, or L1, L2, right? Where you're asking, so let's start from the beginning. Workflows to be created initially during the onboarding period. That's kind of like those, the onboarding, the use case definition documents that we'll be working with you guys. There's going to be very, very detailed workflows on how we tackle any type of detection, right? Those will be done during the onboarding period, and then confirmed or updated in the beginning of each month. We will also do that. That's generally a part of what we already have. And then the next additional that has been added is saying, except for severity of 1 or 2 incidents, which will be reviewed and, if applicable, updated within 5 days of resolution. And this is doable if we expand the threat research and what we had just talked about with you guys with the additional scope. We could do that. And for any unknown novel attack handling incidents not covered by current use cases, we can come up with the definitions for that. And we'll also execute, I think this part also we had some comments. Let me check my comments here quick. Okay, that's not much here. Okay, let's go back here. I believe it says Armature will execute emergency containment actions per the RPM immediately and will propose RPM workflow updates for customer approval. Yeah, so this is where we can, where we're saying we can tackle step 1 and step 2 with additional review and updating the current workflows. That can be done. We could continue to do that. And I thought here we have the part where we're talking about actually adding in more information about the threat actors and providing a full report, but maybe we might have to bring that language from up here down, so like the post-incident review part. Let me rephrase what we have here in this section to say that we will also provide, post-incident reviews for SEV 1 and SEV 2. That will cover what you asked yesterday, and we can also do what you're asking here. We can take that on. Where if it's a SEV 1, SEV 2, we'll go back to review to see how we handle it in the future. Right, so it's continuously improved. I think it's the idea that you're looking for anyways here, right? That if we have one of these, how do we tackle it better next time, right?
Yeah, the gist of this was when I was looking at it, and the key was the operand will review each month, right? So I suggest Edward, well, what happened? We have step one, step two that we don't want to wait till next month, and we have some lesson learned. Let's exchange the idea, get that in, or so we don't need to wait another month. That was the whole point of it. So it's very adaptive.
Got it. No, that's doable. We can do that with what we talked about as additional scope.
Yep.
And we'll also add the post-incident review for step 1 and step 2.
Right.
There. Okay. Let me do that. I'll change the language and I'll send that part back to you as well. Okay, going down everything else, this is okay. I think you guys wanted a reduction in rate on that part for additional, like if there is ever, this is what's considered out of scope. If there's ever an incident, a major incident, if a third team needs to come in, then, for us to work with them. But that's okay. That's acceptable. Let's take a look here. This is all good. Okay, so this one, the urgent versus standard. This one, we usually have 8 hours, and you guys wanted that to go down to 1 hour. I think we can, based on the language here, I think you're looking for someone to respond to it.
I think I want to wait on this. This table here, we're still fine tuning right now, the severity right now. So
there's two ones, two series things. This is
the tickets. I'm sorry. This is the ticket. This is the tickets, right? This is the ticket cover.
This is support tickets.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's fine.
The security one is actually below, and I'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
But I think here, this is also acceptable. We looked into it. I think we can do this. It's about responding to something within an hour, meaning getting our people on it within the hour. I think that is doable now. We have the capacity to do that, so we can accept these, so that's okay. Then comes, these are okay. You guys want to put the phone number there, that's fine. And that is okay. Where is okay, so this part, this is one part I want to talk about a little bit in detail here. So the way we assign severity right now to incidents in our system, it's here's kind of how the formula works. We take 3 factors into account. We take let's say we are getting an actual alert from like a CrowdStrike or some system that you have, which of course we're monitoring, right? They will assign a severity to that, right? Let's say this CrowdStrike assigns high. We take that into consideration. We put that in bucket 1. Then we take a look at, we take all the indicators of that incident and we run it against our threat intel feeds, right? Then we have a calculation there. If there's a bunch of critical or like multiple malicious hits, then that will calculate a severity and assign that the threat intel based severity as well. So maybe that also comes in as high, right? So now we have two severity ratings high from the original reporting vendor, our threat intel calculation. And then the third one is actually those use case definition documents. Now, this is where we talked about yesterday how, hey, you guys might have KPIs and you have like 3 buckets for lab, enterprise, and I forget the other one, but the 3 verticals, and you may have certain assets in each one. And let's say we have a hit on a certain assets in lab, that automatically makes it a critical because we've defined it and you guys have helped us define it in the KPIs, right? So now that third one is now critical. So we have a high critical. The way we calculate that, the way we assign the final is the highest. We take the highest severity based on those 3 areas. We set that as the incident severity for that incident, right? Now, a lot of that can be like easily governed by that definitions document, which will be like most of these incidents with you guys. I expect the rating, the severity rating, to come from the definitions we work on with you, right? So that's already defined here. So if you look here, we talk about how we do severity calculations. That's what we talked about here. Severity level is assigned to an incident based on the highest severity level derived from the following areas: alerting security platform, like let's say CrowdStrike's, and then third-party threat intelligence piece, and the use case definition document. And then we give the highest ones, right? From all three, whatever's the highest is given to the incident. So if you do all your documents, the way you guys want, this will probably end up governing, unless the other platforms have called it a critical or this. We can still go and manually change it to whatever this is governing, if that's how you want it done. Now, over here, what you guys have done is this whole section is brand new, was put in by Edward and maybe Danny, you too. We're talking about this in this section. I think Edward had actually called the three armatures, creates incident, set serious, annual, and challenge. Let me see, where did he call it? So he's actually calling it armature assigns each incident a severity level, critical, high, medium, low, informational, using the highest level indicated by the alerting security platform, third-party threat intelligence, and the applicable use case definition document. So it's already called out here again. And then yet here we are calling the Sev 1 critical descriptions. I think this is based on what you guys have defined within you now, right? A Sev 1 is a confirmed or highly likely material cybersecurity incident. Also severe impact to Grail's operations, all this, right? All these definitions are also now assigned here. The problem with this is now this goes against our definition of how we set severity, which is referenced as kind of like fighting each other here, right? So my suggestion here is we keep it to, we can actually even keep this language here, the 3 paragraphs, that's not a problem. The MTTR calculation, waiting for customer, all this is fine. That's exactly how we do it. But I think this part should we should remove it from this document, and we should use it in the use case definitions document as the governing security calculations for that component. Does that make sense?
Yes. Also, on the time, Nimesh, on the time, if you scroll up a little bit,
yeah.
How do you feel about the time? And this time should be containment. I feel it should be containment rather than response. It should be containment. And
this is resolution. It's time to resolve.
Yeah.
It means resolution would be containing. So resolution would mean whatever we can do and whatever we are allowed to do, right? So that is governed by that RPAM document, which gives us hey, these are all the actions we are allowed to do automatically through automation. These are all the actions our analysts are allowed to do after a manual investigation. That's already governed. So we can do certain things, and then there are certain things we'll have to raise the alarm with you guys, saying, hey, you guys got to do this, right? But this time is to do the things that we are responsible to do.
And the key is that you can do. That is really the key. We
can't do everything.
Right. I think that's the key.
That RPAM document of what we can do, the responses we can take. That's already something we went through with Ryan. I can go through that with you another time too.
I know.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Danny, you and I went through the RPAM together, right? When you first joined.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we have, and honestly, I think the times are okay because the times are actually matching what we had.
Yeah.
Let me double check. Yeah, one actually no, I think the 2. Yeah, so it goes. Yeah, so you guys have 1, 4, 8, 24 1 week. We have 1, 2, 4, 24, 24. So it's the biggest one is a critical is within the hour. That's matching, and that's okay. Everything else is doable. Honestly, I'd like to keep ours if you don't mind, 1, 2, 4, because then it's easier, but which is I think better than what you guys are asking.
Hey, Nimesh, that document that you keep scrolling, what is that? Is that maybe I haven't go back to the other one that you were referring to.
This is my standard template right here. This is what we sent you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, this is what we sent you, and this is what you guys came back with. So
can you send that to me? I don't know if I saw that one. That's a thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. No problem. You probably got a partly revised version.
Yeah. I think here's what my recommendation. I think we're pretty close. I think into the next step in the interest of time for the executive is send back and what you have here, and probably we need another session with Edward, and I think it would be good for Edward and Nimesh. The next one will be here, like we're all together, so we can go back and forth, just kind of power through like what we did last time.
Understood. Yeah. Let me do this. Let me make the changes that I just talked about. I'll send you a copy of the red line, copy of the original that we put together, a copy of the red lines that you sent us, and I'll send you a copy of what I'm suggesting.
Yep.
And that's what we just talked about.
Right. Then we'll do another session. Then once we're that, then we do another session like this, like you there, the lawyers there. Then we can iron out the remaining thing. That's my recommendation. Otherwise, the legal always come back with something else, and
Exactly.
it never ends. It never ends, right?
Yeah, it never ends. No, it's we talked about it too. We should probably need to get on a call with Edward directly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can take the next round. We polish it up. I make some change because I see what you're saying, right? Like we step one, step two makes sense. And Edward, Abby say about the postal reports may have that, so we can go back. Then the next meeting with you, then we can cross out the T and dot out the I's.
Understood. We can. We'll take care of that. So, and Vidi, we haven't heard you. So I know you said sent a message if you can hear.
No, Vidi, you're still muted, or you have audio incident.
Your incident. Sev 3. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, on my side I was not muted, but I was trying to say a couple of things, but never got to. I was like, maybe they're not hearing me. Okay, so next we should I schedule one where we include Edward?
Yes. So Vita, what we need to do is we need to do this. Okay, we need a session with Edward, Brian, myself as internal cleanup. Once we're aligned, of course Andrew too. Then we have another session with Edward and Nimesh, to make sure everybody's in alignment. I think that's the 2 sessions we needed.
Okay. So Nimesh, I'll put ours on Friday, right?
Sure.
And then based on Edward's availability, Danny, you, Ryan, we put one internally in the week.
Yeah. So internally we'll do it first round first. Ryan, myself, and Edward. And I need Nimesh, your information so I can make some assessment as well.
Okay. And for threat intelligence, which was, I guess you guys already wrapped up yesterday, but do we need another session next Friday? Should I put a placeholder or?
I think maybe yes, because so we have to now finalize all the asks and come up with a scope for that. I think a lot of it we'll probably include in the wording here. I think the main thing is just we're still trying to figure out like what's the cost going to be for us. So that part we'll probably figure out early next week. All the wheels are in motion to do all that work. So yeah, let's do another session on the threat intel piece too. Exactly. And I think I also need the template from you or what you're looking for. That's still an action item on your guys' part that we need.
You mean the KPI template?
No, the report template that you're going to be presenting in October. Yeah.
Thanks.
Nimesh, I got a question. What we discussed yesterday, would that variable also factor in this statement of work, or that's totally separate things?
No, it is going to be part of this. So I think that's why I said it's actually covered by right here, right?
Yeah.
Like what we talked about earlier about reviewing everything every time I said one step to happen.
Right.
And then also doing post-incident reviews.
Right.
The post-incident reviews will contain a lot more, rich data about attackers, who are they targeting, where are they from. Also, lots of APT information, right? And what's their history with Grail, that level of analysis, right? So that's what the post-incident review will contain, and that's what I'm trying to get. I think from Abhi is that template will kind of define the scope of that reporting. So going forward, hey, these are the types of detail you can expect from a post-incident review.
So basically, we're increasing the scope. Sounds like based on yesterday.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So would that adjust all the numerical value potentially?
Yes. Yeah, and I think we had a conversation last week
with
Alex and Abhi on this. So that's what we're trying to figure out, what that numerical change is going to be.
Okay, so Ryan and myself, we'll figure out the scope. We'll leave Abby and Alex on the numeric factors.
Yeah,
See?
I think the main reason is like, we want to like work backwards from like what is we trying to present, what kind of information do you guys need to really drive the goals that you guys have, and then we're trying to see, okay, what do we need to get to that, right?
Sorry guys, we have a hard stop.
Yeah, me too actually. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I think we're good now. I think we have a game plan for the next steps.
Okay.
Sweet.
Bye guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.